Welcome back to Business RadioX Pro Tips. Lee Kantor, Stone Payton here with you. Lee, just the other day here in my local studio in Woodstock, Georgia, I had someone who's been helping me out ask me how I go about turning relationships into clients. And they said, do you have a playbook? And I do, but you know what? It's maybe a little bit more in my head than it should be. What's your take on investing the time and energy to commit this stuff to paper? And I guess Playbooks is good a moniker for that kind of thing as any.
I think having playbooks for your business is critically important, especially if you ever at some point want to sell your business or to hire somebody else. It's great to have playbooks that explain kind of the key pillars of your organization and how to do them. I think 6 playbooks that a professional service business should have. Number 1 is a business development playbook. How do you identify and get a client? Capturing that, how do you do that? Kind of getting into the weeds on the how is super important. Number 2 is a client onboarding playbook. How do you welcome and manage the expectations of a new client? What does that look like? What do the first 30, 60, 90 days look like? Number 3 is service delivery. How do you project manage and quality control your deliverables? How do you go about delivering all of the service that you promise? Number 4, client communication. How do you gather feedback? How do you bubble up concerns? How do you uncover opportunities and get referrals? All that type of communication would be great if there was a playbook that explained how to do that. Number 5, team management. How do you onboard somebody and train a new team member? And how do you evaluate their progress? That's super important. And number 6, kind of a catch-all knowledge library. How do you document some of these best practices and capture use cases and share those lessons learned? If you can kind of create these 6 playbooks, you're going to be well on your way to having a business that, number 1, can be sold, and then the knowledge transferred, and it'll make your life a lot easier when you have a new person come on board the team, and now you can just hand them the playbook and say, okay, this is what we use to get you started.